Welcome back to NFL Sports Network, where I'm joined here with Ethan and Cash. Today we're discussing the trade destinations for DeAndre Hopkins and where we see where his best fit would be. Cash, start us off.
I know that the popular answer is going to be the New England Patriots, but I think personally it will be the Tennessee Titans. They have two young options at quarterback between Malik Willis and Will Levis, and they also have Ryan Tannehill still on the depth chart, but I think he will get traded or bought out. They also have Derrick Henry, who's a top 5 running back in this league. They have a decent O-line, a pretty good defense. They still have a chance in their division. I think DeAndre Hopkins would love to play in Tennessee.
Ethan, what's your take on this?
I personally think the obvious choice has to be New England. You know, Bill Bryan, his former head coach, is currently the offensive coordinator there, and he knows how to utilize D-Hop the most. You know, back when he was playing in Houston, DeAndre Hopkins was one of the top wide receivers in the league. You know, he's got great jump ball skills, great agility, has amazing cuts off the top of his routes, has great footwork when squaring up to defenders who are impressed. I love D-Hop to the Patriots, especially with the competition in the AFC East. You know, got the Jets, Dolphins, Bills. I think if the Patriots are too talented to go into a full rebuild mode, I think if they want to have a chance to compete in the AFC East, they have to bring in a star player, and I think that star player could be D-Hop for them.
Okay. We can start taking questions from the live crowd now. You in the blue hat.
So if D-Hop were to go to the Patriots, how much money do you think that they'll give them? They'll give him.
I think they'll sign him to around a 3-year, probably a $36 million deal. I think what the Patriots like to do is they kind of sign players on their roster, similar contracts. You know, that's around what Juju Smith-Schuster got. So I think that's what they'll give to. DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think they're going to sign him for too much, especially this late, where the options are kind of starting to slim down.
Who has more value to you, though, Juju Smith-Schuster or DeAndre Hopkins?
I think DeAndre Hopkins has much more value to me as on a team. I don't think Juju Smith-Schuster is capable of being a number one wide receiver. We kind of saw what he did in Pittsburgh without Antonio Brown. He wasn't as productive as he was. In Kansas City, he wasn't the most productive on his team, but he still was productive because Travis Kelce was there. That's how I think Juju Smith-Schuster you're going to get the most out of him is as a number 2, not as a number 1. So I think bringing in a number 1 wide receiver, as DeAndre Hopkins will almost certainly be, is definitely the right call.
So then why would you give the same money to your wide receiver 1 as your wide receiver 2?
Because that's what the Patriots like to do. They don't like to give more players money to the same positions. So when they brought in Devontae Parker, he got 3 years, $36 million. They then brought in Juju Smith-Schuster, who got almost the exact same contract.
Is that disrespectful to D-Hop, though?
I don't know. I think maybe it kind of is. But I don't know how the Patriots will operate with that. I think that is what he should get. I don't think paying him more, especially because of age. He is 31, so he's on the wrong side of 30. I think 3 years, he'll then be 34 by that time. I think at that point, DeAndre Hopkins will kind of he'll either retire or kind of start to fizzle out. So I think not offering him too much in case he goes on a steep regression is a good call.
Okay. You in a Devin Hester jersey.
Is there a window open that DeAndre Hopkins goes to the Kansas City Chiefs?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely a possibility because, Patrick Mahomes and DeAndre Hopkins would be absolutely insane. But at the same time, I just don't see DeAndre Hopkins, he would want to go there, but I feel like the Chiefs already have enough people to pay because they're already talking to Chris Jones about an extension. They don't want to have to pay DeAndre Hopkins a lot of money. And the only team I feel like DeAndre Hopkins would not take a lot of money from, it would go there for cheap, is the New England Patriots because of what Ethan said about paying every wide receiver similar.
You in the Expos fit.
Do you think the fact that the Patriots hired Bill Bryan will harm their chances in any way of landing D-Hop?
I don't think so. I think when Bill Bryan is not what was a great offensive mind in Houston, not a horrible general manager. I think keeping him as an offensive coordinator is a good call. He was the offensive coordinator at Alabama last year. They had a really good offense, so I think keeping him as the offensive coordinator is enticing to DeAndre Hopkins because he knows that Bill Belichick is not just going to give up the general manager spot. So I think Bill Bryan staying as offensive coordinator will be more enticing to DeAndre Hopkins.
Kobe jersey, I like it.
What are your thoughts on D-Hop to the Rams?
I mean, that just, for me, it kind of like doesn't really make sense. I mean, he would be the wide receiver too because Cooper Cup coming off the injury, and before his injury, he had one of the best wide receiver seasons of all time, and I just don't really see him wanting to be a wide receiver too on a team with an aging Matthew Stafford and not really a strong core.
Either you got anything to add to that?
I just think DeAndre Hopkins to the Rams. Rams are going through a full rebuild right now. You know, they have way too many holes on the roster to go after a position that they already have a good star receiver at. I think signing DeAndre Hopkins to a large contract would be a dumb move and kind of reset the rebuild back a couple of years.
And that's our show. Thank you for the live audience for all your great questions. And yeah, signing off is me, Cash, and Ethan on NFL Sports Network.